Like there's this argument that says, how dare an American publisher take our copyrights, pay a compulsory license, and then just use them without our permission. Well, in Canada, we have part of the copyright deal is something called a lending right. You're not allowed to lend a book unless you pay into a collecting society. No American author ever gave permission for her works to be included in a Canadian library, and yet we take all of their copyrights and put them in our libraries and pay them pay a chunk of money into a collecting society that they can claim or not claim as they see fit. And you don't see Canadians rushing to take American books off the shelves and then go back and ask individual permission of all American writers. I think that that's just a complete sideshow. I think there's two important things about the Google book search settlement, and no one's paying attention to them. The first is that Google won't put a privacy policy that means anything in writing. And when you think about what Google will have as information about your reading habits, it's really amazing. It's unprecedented. They'll know what word brought you to that page. They'll know how many pages you read, who you are, when you read them, what location you were in when you read them by your IP address, and any amount of stuff. And we asked them, by we I mean me and a group of other writers, Michael Chabon and Bruce Schneier and several other writers, Eric Flint, went to Google, represented by EFF, and asked them to put in print, in writing, a policy that said we will only divulge your reading history with a court order. And Google refused. They said we want to keep the option open to divulge any or all of that information at our discretion. So that's the first thing, and I think that that's incredibly important. And the second thing that's incredibly important is the fact that the way that it's established now, Google has very much most favored nation status with the collecting society. It will be very hard to compete with them. And if you want to see a good settlement come out of Google, it would be one that compelled them to disclose their corpus to their competitors so that book search could work like web search, and anyone could build a search engine for books, so that we would have essentially a disorganized, chaotic, competitive sector competing to give writers the best deal possible, instead of a single monopolistic player that we have to rely upon to be a benevolent dictator. And I trust the Googlers now. By and large, I think they're the nicest people I've ever met. I just don't want to arm them with a nuclear-tipped warhead aimed at publishing and trust that no one will ever come to rise at Google who will ever misuse it. And I just think that's a huge mistake. And so we'll see this week what comes out of it.